I'm sick and tired of our kids in our churches saying, oh, I love my mom and dad, but you're a rebel. And you scream and you yell at the house and you slam doors and you pitch your fit and you sling plates. I'm going to tell you something. I'd like to have you for a week, honey. You'd go to the door slamming business when I got done with you. Little punk kids telling their mama to shut up, telling their dad, I don't have to do that. You touch me, I'll dial 911. I'll tell you something. You better be glad my daddy didn't get a hold of you. I was talking some time ago about how my daddy used to whip me, and somebody said, why didn't you dial 911? I wasn't able to dial 911. And if I would have, he'd have whooped that crowd when they got there. As long as you're sleeping in their home, living under their roof, and eating off their table, it ought to be, yes, sir, no, ma'am. My daddy never repeated himself to me twice, one time in my life. Never did my daddy repeat himself to me. Nor did he ever go behind me to see if it was done what he told me to do. I'm living proof that I never talked back to my daddy. I would not be. Brother Buchanan, you know what I'm talking about. Our daddies didn't put up with this nonsense. I was in a store not long ago. I heard a woman say, time out, time out. I thought she was a coach. Time out. I said, lady, what do you mean time out? Well, when I say time out, he's got to be still till I count to 10. This kid's climbing all over the toy racks and everything else and kissing the dolls and ripping them out of the boxes and going nuts. And she said, your daddy didn't believe in time out? I said, no, ma'am. He believed in getting knocked out. And the only time my daddy counted to 10 was to give me the 10 to get up off the floor, or he was going to start all over again. I've been whipped till the smoke alarm went off. Are you listening to me? But I tell you what, I love my daddy. I'm not mean at my daddy. I'm not bitter at my dad. I'm the man I am today because my daddy instilled some character in me and some responsibility and discipline. You say, I don't believe in whipping my children. You don't think I know that? That's their footprints on the ceiling. That's why they're going to run away when they're 12. That's why they'll be pregnant when they're 14. You've pampered them and babied them. You've given them everything they've ever wanted. You've never told them no. You've never brought restraints in their life. So when the Spirit of God tells them no, they're not used to hearing that, and they'll reject Him just like they rejected you. I'm telling you, authority, accountability, and responsibility is a good thing in a child's life. When I was taking psychology and I got my master's degree in it, one of our classes, the instructor, which is a full-blooming idiot, liberal humanist, said, ladies and gentlemen, don't you ever whip a child. Don't you ever whip a child. Because if you whip them, it warps their mind. Can't handle that. I'm waiting my turn, but Bubba, I got to say something on that. You mean if I whip a child, it warps their mind? That's exactly right. I said, did you know if you don't whip your children, they'll warp your mind? And if somebody's mind's going to be warped, it's going to be theirs, not mine. Say amen right there. I tell you, if you love the family and you love God and you're submissive to God, you'll do what the principal says. You won't try to bring contention between your parents and the principal. I'll tell you, buddy, when I got a whipping at school, I got another one when I got home, and Dad wouldn't even listen to my story. Wouldn't even let me tell the lie that I thought up all afternoon. It's a waste of time. Then after he beat me half to death, he'd say, now what are you going to tell me? I'd say, I forget it. Our principal's name was Mr. Ramsire. His paddle was the bottom half of a boat oar. I hated that man. I hope he's in hell tonight. Man's mean as a snake. He'd give me 5 licks. And after the second one, I didn't even know when he hit me. Because I was so numb. For 3 days, you could have shot me with a shotgun. I'd have never known it. I went in his office one day. He said, Mr. Kidd, five swats isn't helping you. I said, oh, it helps me a lot. I get in trouble just because I like being around you, Mr. Ramsey. He said, I'm calling your house. I thought, go ahead. My dad works. Call the house. I don't care. He called the house. My brother stayed home that day. He answered the phone. Mr. Ramsey said, Mr. Kidd? He said, yes. He said, I've been giving your boy 5 licks and it's not working. What should I do? And that low-down, sorry, unconverted, hell-bound brother said, double it. Double it! Brother, I'd been over that chair and he hit me, sound like a shotgun went off. I was numb from my earlobes down to my ankles, but I knew better than to tell my daddy. I knew better! I got home that night, we were sitting around the dinner table. Dad said, what did you learn in school today? I said, 5 + 5 is 10. That's what I learned in school today. Quit Quit taking up for your kids. The principal's always right. The police are right. Teach them some discipline in their life. You kids, when your parents call you, you ought to go the first time they call you. Some of you boys, get off the couch, got to put your little Nintendo down, pitch a fit and throw stuff because you got to take the garbage out. All I do is take the garbage out. Well, if you quit eating so much fatso, you wouldn't fill the garbage can up so fast. You ought to shut up. You ought to be glad that there's food in the house where there's garbage you can take out. I say if you love your family, you'll obey them to have the authority over you. Amen. Good preaching.